Hello there, another episode of Boise's Bricks and Bits, and this is certainly more of bits than it is bricks, although my videos have not actually done any Lego yet, but that will change very soon. But do you know what, today I just wanted to introduce everyone to what I believe is one of the best meals in the world. Listen, for my 40th birthday I asked for this. My mum said, what do you want for your 40th birthday? And I said, do you know what, I want chips and egg. In Turkish it's actually said as patates and yumurta. That translated actually means potato and egg, but you know, over the years it become like a traditional thing that we eat here, that we cook. Chips and egg, I mean, don't get me wrong, I sometimes think it's a heart attack on a plate, but you know, I'm going to kind of show you the basics of it. I'm going to show you what it's easy to do. You can pretty much do whatever you want. And yeah, let me just sort of show you. I mean, potatoes, simple. Oil. I kind of use it's a frying oil, but a bit of one that's kind of incorporates a bit of olive oil in it as well. Pretty decent. I do like that. Sucuk. Oh, this is just absolute fantastic stuff. Turkish sausage. It's Turkish version of, I suppose, if you've got your salamis. Your Spanish sausages and whatever, but I mean, you know, this is a fantastic thing if you get the right one. Eggs, onion, and some oil to fry the chips in. Now, you know, you could do whatever you want. You could put olives in this, you can put peppers in this, you could put mushrooms. The bottom line is, the end result, you can make it your own. You can do whatever you want to do. But I'm just going to show you today just a very simple version, what I like. Even my little man, he's 4 years old. He's been singing the song we always sing when we're cooking this dinner. You might hear it a little later, but you know, regardless. Lukey, what's the song that we sing together? Chips and egg. I'm gonna cook tasty chips and egg. No, you're not gonna sing for us?
Yeah.
Come on then.
Tasty chips and egg.
We're gonna cook tasty chips and egg. Anyway, well, that's just I just thought I'd show basics of the ingredients, and let me kind of get on with it and start chopping up, and I'll show you kind of the processes I go through. It's just how I do it. And I think, what shall we call it? Let's call it Daddy's Chips and Eggs. There we go. It's going to be known by everyone as Daddy's Chips and Eggs. Okay, so I've already cracked the eggs. I mean, you know, I'm doing myself 3 eggs. I'm doing 2 eggs for the little guy. Listen, I've not shown you how to crack an egg. If you don't know how to crack an egg, then yeah, I mean there might be a video on how to crack an egg, but yeah. So the eggs are prepared. The onion, I'm going to very straightforward chop off the bottom. Chop at the top. We don't need them. The onion, I tend to take off the entire top layer just to get rid of the skin. I don't really mess around with it too much. Let's get that all off. There we go. And again, don't worry, I mean, look, this dinner, this is one of those things, you can cook it however you want to cook it. I'm just going to slice through the onion. Got a bit of focus at the moment. I don't really want to put the knife through my fingers. There you go. Onion prepared. Okay, just preparing the potatoes. Straightforward. Peel the potato. Let's get rid of all that. Now, once again, this is a case of you can prep your potatoes however you want. Me, straightforward. I do it a little bit differently, so it's not quite it doesn't look like a normal chip, but I just generally cut in cubes. Well, I say cubes, they're kind of all sorts of random shapes, but and once I've pretty much done this with all the potatoes, or I've done the amount that I kind of want, I'll salt them a bit. You know, I'll kind of like cover them in a bit of salt before the frying commences. So that's just to give us some idea of what I do, you know, how I prep my potatoes for this particular dish. Okay, well, I thought let me try and stop at a sensible amount, but anyway, that's the chips ready. Okay, so the sucuk, like I said, it's kind of like a chorizo, like a salami, but it's a Turkish version. Lovely stuff. Once you can kind of get some, usually find it quite a lot in the Turkish shops. Saying that, at one point I was even finding it in Asda and Morrison's. So you can sometimes find it around, but I don't use too much of it because it is quite a strong meat, a strong taste. So I usually, you know, if you think of there could be 4 pieces, 6 pieces, 8 pieces in a packet, I will literally get 1 piece and cut half per person because it's plenty. No, it really is plenty. So, you know, just kind of get the skin off. And I tend to just cut this into pieces. I mean, when you fry this stuff, you should see all the oils and the kind of fat that comes out of it, but then that in itself will flavour the onions. There we go. That's that done. And like I said earlier, you know, this really is one of those dinners where you can pretty much do whatever you want to do. You know, but I will just add a bit of seasoning. Salt and pepper to the eggs. And once again, like I said earlier, you kind of like get everything salted. So the potatoes, give them a good old mix. Okay, that's it now. I think everything's pretty much prepped, so now onto the frying of the chips. I mean, it's always useful to have a deep fat fryer, but you know, I've pretty much got a pan full of oil, so I've kind of put that on to start heating up. I'm just going to throw 1 chip in there anyway. Bottom line is, when that starts to sizzle, at least I know it's ready, and I can put the rest of the potato in. So that's going to take a little while on that, and in the meantime, I think what I shall do start preparing the pan, because what I'll do is once the chips are actually frying, I'll kind of cook off the sucuk, I'll fry off the onion and get that part all ready. And you know what, another thing is you can use as a cheat is, if you know, to go to all this trouble to kind of cut the potatoes, don't get me wrong, to make it fresh from scratch, that's the best chips and egg you're going to get. And so many people would be like, you mean egg and chips? No, egg and chips is egg and chips. chips and egg is 1. So yeah, so I mean you can use oven chips. Like I said, oven chips, 25 minutes in the oven, throw them in a pan, same thing. Mix it with everything, crack the egg, eggs over it, mix. But this is, I thought, if I'm going to record this, if I'm going to kind of like show everyone my chips, my version of it, chips and egg, then let's go proper. So yeah, I'm not going to make you watch all this. Let that kind of start warming up. Once that's sizzling in there, I know it's ready. And then yeah, we'll catch up a little later. Okay, so chips are frying away nicely. What I'll do is I'll start cooking off the sujuk now. That's going to get nice and hot. So basically, chips are cooking, so that's happy days. Sujuk is starting to cook. As soon as that's fried off a bit, I'm going to throw in the onion. And then it's basically wait for the chips. Once the chips are ready, what I tend to do, just to take a little bit of the oil out. Again, I'll kind of like get the chips into the bowl and just let that sort of drain off a little bit of the oil. I mean, it's going to be fried and oily and in itself anyway. It's not the healthiest. I mean, this is no way how to lose weight in a week kind of dinner. This is how to put weight on in literally 5 minutes. But yeah, so I'm just going to kind of cook all that off, get that ready, get this ready, and then yeah, we'll come back to it once the chips are done and we're ready to move on to the next section. Kind of almost to the final part of it, really. So I mean, the sujuk's got to a point where it's definitely released all its little bits of oils. So what I'm going to do now is just throw in the onion. And I'll probably turn down the heat a little bit because I don't want it to cook too fast. I mean, yeah, I want the onion to fry, but a little bit caramelised is always not a problem, so slower the better. But that's going to take in some of that fat and flavouring from the sujuk. That's just going to be awesome, man. That's going to be awesome. Right, let's have a little look at how these are doing. Oh yes, that's looking good. Definitely golden, crispy. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, so I'm just gonna take them chips out now. Let them drain a tiny bit. They look banging. Okay, so chips are fried and they're looking very, very good. We're going to chuck them all in there now. So I've already got the onion done, the sujuk done. So look at that drainage, just kind of taking quite a bit of oil out of that. Now we're just going to heat through and it will be the final bit. Get that all mixed up and ready. And again, like I said, this can be adapted to whatever you want it to be. I mean, I love good old onion sujuk. I mean, I wish I had some black olives. I would have honestly thrown that in there too. But I don't have that. So, get the eggs, and the eggs go over. And we just mix it all up. Oh yes. I have to say that's looking quite big actually. I think I've done a bit more than what I wanted. I think I'm going to have a very light dinner tonight. Right, so I'm just going to cook that off and let that set. Okay, so that's all mixed up good and proper. All that egg is now scrambled over, mixed up with the chips, the sujuk, the onion, and like I said again, this can be, you can do whatever you want with it. I'm a sucker for salt, so I will kind of like splash a bit more over that. Now, this is the bit that a lot of people find quite odd, but I once ran out and I couldn't believe it, and all I had was ketchup and it just did not work for me. But like I like a good set strained total yogurt. Awesome. And I shall get that and bung it on top. And there's my daddy's chips and egg. Hopefully you try it. Honestly, try it with the yogurt as well one day. It's absolutely gorgeous. Right, time to enjoy.